Every time I rag on the ABC, I get the same 6 responses. It really makes me think Australia is just one massive
Kiss my butt. Shut up. Go to hell. Go to hell.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to resurrect an old meme. What a bunch of NPCs. Thus, I've decided to make this video. It's the YouTube equivalent of the I'm currently on vacation automated email. It's just gonna fast track every argument you ever have about the ABC so you can get to your opponent's actual point, which inevitably is, but sometimes I learn things on Catalyst. It always starts with this crap point. By criticising the ABC, you're gonna get it privatized. Well, to that I say, thank you very much for your extremely high estimation of my power.
Friendly Geordies, powerful enough to privatise the ABC, not powerful enough to re-elect a pretty popular premier in South Australia.
You actually think the ABC is in danger of being privatised? You must not understand. And you definitely don't understand.
Me! I'm a flower child!
The Murdoch press might want to see the ABC privatised. The Liberals most certainly do not. Why would they when they control it? Don't you think if you're completely beholden to someone financially, they'd have the power to do anything? Hell, if ScoMo wanted to, he could transform Hamish McDonald into an actual McDonald's. Finally, a place to shit. What are you basing this privatisation scare off? Some minutes in a meeting brought up by some pimply nobodies with no power that was immediately shut down by people with power? How do you even know about that? Well, as Paul Keating so eloquently put it once, the ABC are the most self-indulgent, self-serving outfit in the country. As soon as you talk about the ABC, it's never off AM, PM, the news service, boring everyone stiff about their problems. What he's saying is, why don't you ever hear the same fervour from the ABC about scientists out of a job? Public schools, vital infrastructure projects that have been shredded, the healthcare system that's been crippled by cuts, you cunt. I'll tell you why. Because the ABC frequently, surprise, surprise, lie to cover the asses of their bosses. Do you expect any different? Do you expect the advertisers of Kmart to say, Kmart, fill your garage with even more broken shit? When Jody McKay pointed out that Koala Killer cut $40 million from the RFS, ABC Fact Check called Jody McKay liar. Ditto Bill Shorten when he pointed out that $80 billion had been cut from health and education. Not very hard to see. Those are massive cuts. No, according to the enlightened overseers of the ABC, that's all hot air. That's not hot air. This is hot air. That's why they call me the gaseous giant. And that's what they'd be calling hot air if they did their job properly, because their job is to convey facts. But they're so bad at their job that we have to fact check. The roles should be reversed. I should be the one defending them. I should be saying, no, don't cut their funding. They give me too much material. More than happy to throw every other public service under the bus, yet as soon as it comes to their funding, wall-to-wall stories that make you think, me, Stuart Diver didn't get this much coverage. All devoted to them moaning about, oh, who will film a book club if we don't? No one, and good. Particularly where you cover up hospitals being dangerously underfunded in the hope that you can continue to talk about why you didn't like 50 Shades Darker. We get it. It's why you didn't like the others, because the female character is weak. Well, I've got news for you, Toots. You're weaker. Oh my god, I'm a myth. Then they always move on to, well, without them all we'd have is Murdoch. Oh my god. Imagine a world where Rupert Murdoch had unfettered power. It would be this one. Take Insiders, hosted by 50-year-old, 14-year-old David Spears. I'd say that after the break we'd find out when my voice will break, but on the ABC there are no breaks. That's right, he's an ex-Sky News, not an intern as you'd expect from his appearance, host. Alan Austin, who's a great Australian journalist, and I think pirate? Yeah. Chose an episode of Insiders at random. 2 out of 3 of the guests were Murdoch hacks. 7 out of 8 of the newspapers referenced were Murdoch papers. So your alternative to Murdoch is 83% Murdoch. ABC, 17% yours. Dang, dang, dang. I took Alan Austin's experiment further, because I'm a boss, pimps. I looked at a list of 29 guests that appear on Insiders, and I tallied which ones work for Murdoch, used to work for Murdoch, work for Costello, or have ties to the Liberal Party. You want to see what the results are? Because they're about as balanced as my desire to see this pigeon, orange, and clam start a rap group called the Wu-Tang Clan. And that's so unbalanced, it ain't nothing to f**k with. 21 out of 29. That is well over 2/3 of the guests, Murdoch and Costello hacks. The same people who throw a tanty every time I attack the ABC are very willing to attack Murdoch, but when I point out how atrocious the ABC actually is, their only defense ever is, "At least it's not Murdoch." No, it's just a taxpayer-funded platform that only Murdoch journalists are allowed on. Diet Murdoch. Just admit it sucks. Sorry, at this point the video is just a very elongated Freudian slip of me arguing with my parents. It really should be entitled, "Oh, not Richard Glover, Mum, he sucks." It does the essentials well, like keep us informed during times of crisis. Ooh, that's $1 billion taxpayer dollars a year justified, providing you with the exact same function you get for free on f***ing Google. If they actually did keep you informed, we'd currently have sick broadband, making them even more redundant. All they have left is the fact they play quizzes to geriatrics at night, and Tui's has that covered. Fancy that. Whales aren't fish. Then they retreat to defending specific programs. Well, Four Corners is actually very good. Why? Because I take everything they say on face value. Well, I don't. I looked into a few of their stories and then gave up because after a while it's like watching Little League game after Little League game. We get it. You suck. Their highly esteemed expose of water corruption in the Darling when they exposed, kind of, one bureaucrat. Problem solved. When I went there, I met with numerous water experts who over and over said the ABC deliberately didn't want to have anything to do with them, conveniently forgetting to mention even the basics like, which party put that corrupt bureaucrat there? Supposedly, the best journalists in the country didn't have time to mention that glaringly obvious fact once in 45 minutes. It's like they play trivia on radio and cranium on television. The ABC's in-depth look at the government's handling of Corona was essentially an infomercial of ministers whining about how they had to do long hours. That's worth $1 billion a year, is it? Tonight we bring you our 45-minute exclusive on why Peter Dutton is tired. When you say that, they'll jump to, but when you look at the 7:30 report... Jesus, haven't we covered the 7:30 report enough? But Media Watch... Dude, stop playing musical chairs, Smug Boomer edition. It always sadly gets reduced to content that actually plays musical chairs. But the kid shows... Even then... Have you seen Bananas in Pajamas recently? It's like Homer getting sucked into the third dimension. What is going on? The reason you feel sorry for an institution that's been aiding and abetting one of the greatest crimes in human history, which is suppression of the Panama and Paradise Papers, is because you've been brainwashed by their constant whining, you empathetic simp. I don't want to hear any of this, but you don't understand, they have to make a living. No, they don't. Being a journalist is not like working at Just Jeans. You don't do journalism to make a living. The role is bigger than your f***ing paycheck. You do it to tell the truth. They don't. Therefore, you feel sorry for millionaires who became millionaires off of your money by lying to you. Just accept you've been catfished, or more accurately, catalyst fished. Ooh, I think that deserves a like. I think the ostensible reason you support the ABC is because you think you support independent journalism. Well, if that's the case, how about you actually support independent journalism instead? You should be looking at True Crime Weekly, Independent Australia, Michael West. A good starting point would be to chuck a couple of bucks at Stone Cold Alan Austin. He's getting sued. Why? Because he's an actual journalist. This is what happens to actual journalists. They get sued into silence like they're... I guess me, frankly. You like my channel? Well, I steal Alan Austin's findings all the time and just do this in between them so you pay attention. Clearly the most important part, but I think Alan Austin's contribution is worth a couple of bucks. So, like this video if you see through the Matrix. And the Matrix is, oh my god, I haven't watched Play School in 20 years. F*** it. And if you don't see through the Matrix and still see value in the 7:30 report and f***ing Jemima, like this video, or Jemima gets it! We couldn't actually find a real Jemima doll. The ABC must actually be doing it tough. But you see, it's just like the Bananas in Pajamas all over again. Animation is not the same.
Please share and comment below. Comment.